Okay, so look at this particular question. Name a yellow monoxide. Yellow monoxide. It is what here. There is a hint here that dissolves in hot and concentrated caustic alkali. So the A part is what? Answer of A part is what? PbO. Okay, PbO is what? Your yellow monoxide. Only one oxygen is there, and that dissolve in hot and concentrated caustic alkali. Why? Because it reacts with that, and this is what your PbO. That is PbO is your yellow, and this reacts with what? NaOH, and it forms what? Sodium plumbate. Sodium Na2 PbO2, Na2 PbO2, and plus what? Your H2O. Okay, H2O. And this particular one is what? This particular one is what? Your sodium plumbate. This is what your sodium plumbate. And this is what your colorless and soluble. This is what your colorless and what your soluble, colorless and soluble. Okay, so that's why this is what your dissolve means what? This is what is soluble. Okay, so when this PbO, that is your yellow monoxide, reacts with this alkali, hot and concentrated caustic alkali, it forms what? Sodium plumbate. That is your colorless. Okay, that is your colorless and soluble. Okay, let's balance this particular chemical reaction. You can balance it. Okay, put 2 here. Okay, and now I think it is balanced. Pb is balanced. Yeah, sodium is balanced. Oxygen 2 plus 1 3, 2 plus 1 3, hydrogen. Okay, so this one is balanced. Okay, now see a white insoluble oxide. So this is what your B part, insoluble oxide, that is what is ZNO. Okay, zinc oxide is what your white insoluble oxide that dissolves when fused with what? Caustic soda or caustic potash. So this again ZNO, whether it reacts with what? NaOH, or whether it reacts with what? KOH, it forms what? In this case it forms what? Na2ZNO2. This is what your white oxide. Okay, insoluble oxide, Na2ZNO2, and plus what is your H2O, and in this case it forms what? K2ZNO2 plus what? Your H2O. This is basically what? Your sodium zincate. This one is the what? Sodium zincate. Okay, you can write it here. This one is your sodium zincate. Okay, sodium zincate. And this one is simple, just you have to replace this sodium by potassium, so it becomes what? Potassium zincate. Okay, and if this one is not balanced, so just put it 2 here and 2 here. So now I think it is balanced. Okay, so this is basically what? White insoluble oxide, and that dissolves. Why dissolves? Because they are what? These two compounds are what? They are what? Colorless and soluble. They are what? Colorless and soluble. Soluble word is more important because they are saying in the question what? That dissolves. So that means this is what? Soluble. Okay, this one is your soluble. Okay, look at this, SOLUBLE. Okay, so this is what is soluble. Okay, now come to the C part. A compound containing zinc in the anion. Anion is what? The charge is what? Charge must be negative. Okay, so look at this Na2ZNO2. What is the name of this compound? So this is what your sodium zincate, and this is basically what? 2Na plus, and this is basically what? ZNO2 2 minus. So this is what your ZNO2 2 minus, and if you see here, this is what your anion. And this anion contains what? Your zinc. This anion contains what? Zinc. So the answer of C part is what? Your zincate ion. This is what your zincate ion. Okay, zincate ion. That is what your ZnO2 2 minus. I think, hope you understand this particular concept.